Walmart, you're welcome.
Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and comment, or you'll be visited by a reptilian hybrid from the Rockefeller Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard like, subscribe. If not, you know what you're going to be visited by now. And that guy from the Rockefeller Foundation is the same one that was the one that created the PAC that contributed money during the election. Probably to both parties. But moving right along, let's talk about minimum wage. And I've talked about this before in another video, but I recently watched two separate videos. One by Patrick Bet-Davis and the other by Vaush. And if you know who they are, I'm going to link both those videos below, but they both discuss the minimum wage. Now let's go through what I know about the two of them. Patrick Bet-Davis his family left Iran as refugees after the revolution. In fact, they left during the Iran-Iraq War, went to a refugee camp in Germany, eventually settled in California, became citizens. He graduated from high school, went in the Army, got out, shuffled around a few different places, and went into the insurance business, went out on his own once he had some money saved, and now he's a multimillionaire. Vaush is an avowed dyed-in-the-wool socialist. He's an intelligent guy. I watch his videos, I really do. I learned about him when he did an interview with Tim Pool. But like me, he's a guy who has a YouTube studio. I'm in a basement, I don't know where he's at. And yeah, that's about it. He complains about stuff on the internet and talks about how great socialism is. Well, before I even go any farther, here's what I'll say. If you're a fan of Vaush and you don't like me, which if you're a fan of him, you probably don't like me, I will debate him at any given time. And Vaush, here's what I'll say to you. You complained when you did the interview with Tim Pool that he would only do it if you were president at his place where you couldn't fact check. Here's my challenge to you. If you want to debate me, I will stay here, you can stay there, but there's no fact checking. We do this on sheer knowledge we have, based on history and economics and the current times we live in. Nobody fact checks anything. We actually just talk about things we know and we feel true to our heart. Because as you can see behind me, what does it say? Socialism comes here to die. And a quote from your hero Lenin, the goal of socialism is communism. Now, some real truth about the minimum wage. The CBO, which is a nonpartisan office, in their stats based on raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. 900,000 people will be raised from poverty approximately. But 1.4 million will lose their jobs. So where does that half a million missing fit in? Well, here's why it happens. The corporations like Walmart and Home Depot and Target and Best Buy and Lowe's, I guarantee you they already have a plan for what they're going to have to do if they raise minimum wage to $15. And each one of those corporations, so yes, if you're a progressive or a socialist and you support this immediate jump in minimum wage, then yes, you're supporting large corporations. I thought you were supposed to be against them. I thought you were supposed to be after the little guy, the worker. Well, they have so many line items in each store. If they raise the price 1 to 2% on each item or selected items, they can afford that raise in minimum wage. On the other hand, there's a gas station here in Missouri that I stop at all the time. Gas station / convenience store named Steve-O's. They generally have 2 employees on per shift. So if you go with an 8-hour day, that extrapolates out to 6 employees over a 24-hour period, but they have weekends. They have a couple of part-time people. So I'm just going to make an estimation that the guy that owns this convenience store employs 12 to 13 people. It's a convenience store. they actually don't clear much off the price of gas. Their money comes from what you buy in the store. So if he suddenly has to go from $11 an hour to $15 an hour, how much can he raise prices before people stop going there? Or does he just simply lay off employees because he can't afford them? Or bring in part-time employees that no longer have benefits? So how does that benefit the employee? Either way they lose. Either they lose benefits or they lose their job. So you're welcome, Walmart. You win. Basically, initially going from where they are now to $15 an hour will hurt small business because they don't have time to prepare for it. Now, if we graduate this, say we raise $1 an hour a year or so many cents an hour a year, and set a goal of, in 3 years we'll be at $15 an hour. In the example that's used in the David video, you have a store that, I think he used milk, but I use eggs because I just bought eggs today. That carton of eggs cost me $1.19. Well, tomorrow I go in to buy a carton of eggs, and it's $1.27. But I know if I go to Walmart, it's $1.05. Eventually, if my grocery bill costs me 5-10% more to support a local business, for me that doesn't bother me that much, but there are families that's a huge deal about. So they will go to Walmart, where your overall cost is only up 1 or 2%, but the small business goes under. Now, Vaush's argument is, and they both talk about the minimum wage in all these other countries. And part of they're both kind of off, because when they use stats from Australia or these other countries, the value of the dollar in these countries, the United States dollar in these countries, varies day by day. But what I will say is, if you take, because Vaush brought up Denmark. So the minimum wage in Denmark is $22 an hour for somebody who works fast food. Well, if you actually do your research, that fast food worker who makes $22 an hour in US dollars pays 49% in taxes. So we'll just round up to 50. So he takes home $11 an hour. So what's actually achieved? And that goes back to the socialized medicine and everything else. So we need to think about the effect we're having with this. I don't have a huge issue with raising minimum wage, but we need to do it gradually. We cannot do it overnight. If we do it overnight, we'll destroy small business and we will empower corporations even more. And I am as guilty as anybody else. With COVID and the fact that I just hate shopping, Amazon has been my best friend at times. Walmart has been my friend because it's convenient. If I need something to hang a picture up, and I need groceries, and I need electronic, I can go to Walmart and get all of those in one place. I personally am going to spend more time trying to support local businesses because I think it's important. I would ask you to do the same. I would also ask you to contact your elected leaders and talk to them. And the way to go about it is, you're not against raising minimum wage. What you're against is doing it overnight. Let's do this gradually. Let's do it the smart way. Because we've destroyed enough small business with the COVID lockdowns that if we can gradually raise it over a matter of 2 or 3 years, small business can survive. They will figure it out. But if we do it overnight, we're going to destroy them. The only places left to shop will be Walmart and Home Depot and Lowe's and Target. And personally, I'd rather support small business. I'd rather support the mom and pop grocery store in the corner, even if I pay a little bit more now already. The local hardware store. Let's look out for these people. And as far as the progressives and the socialists that are trying to push for this, and they're saying in these other countries with no minimum wage, unions are the reasons workers are taken care of. Well, in the United States, let me just throw this out here. Let's see what the pipe fitters think about what their union leadership supported for presidency when the Keystone Pipeline was stopped. When how many of them were put out of work? These are the things we don't discuss. So Vaush, if you want to debate, I will do it anytime, any place. I'm not scared of you. But here's my question. Are you willing to do it without going to a computer to look stuff up, just based on sheer knowledge? Sheer knowledge of economics and history and the effects these major changes have had
all the countries